Breonna Taylor update. Remember the cop who decided to indiscriminately shoot in her apartment, killing her? Well, that cop has been convicted. Let's go to the footage and I'll give you the background. Here it is.
A federal jury in Louisville, Kentucky convicted a former officer of violating the civil rights of Breonna Taylor by shooting blindly into her home 5 times during the execution of a search warrant in March of 2020. A different officer on the scene tragically shot and killed Ms. Taylor. Breonna Taylor's life mattered. We speak her name to acknowledge the loss of her life, to recognize her dignity and worth.
Let's put up the picture full mass. Remember, this was the picture that went around the world. Breonna Taylor, innocent American citizen who was shot and killed by the police for absolutely nothing. They then engaged in a criminal conspiracy to cover up their crimes. They already engaged in a criminal conspiracy to fabricate information that led them to that apartment in the first place. A federal jury on Friday convicted a former Kentucky police detective of using excessive force on Breonna Taylor during what they call a botched 2020 drug raid that left her dead. The 12-member jury returned the late night verdict after clearing Brett Hankison earlier in the evening on a charge that he used excessive force on Taylor's neighbors. It was the first conviction of a local cop in that jurisdiction who was involved in the deadly raid. Put him up. There he is. All right. So you have Brett Hankison. So Taylor's mother, her name is Tamika, Miss Tamika Palmer, celebrated the verdict with friends outside the federal courthouse saying, quote, "It took a lot of time. It took a lot of patience. It was hard. The jurors took their time to really understand that Breonna deserved justice." Now, I want to point out an irony to this. What happens if you don't have on a blue uniform, okay, and you work in a criminal enterprise? They would call that a clique, a crew, or a gang, and you do something criminal. The person driving may not do anything criminal with you, but they're driving. There's a person that walks up the stairs with you. They may not actually shoot a gun, or maybe they shoot and it don't hit anyone. What happens if something criminal takes place and one of those individuals shoots and kills someone? Well, everybody gets charged with murder. Everybody gets charged with murder. You have different ways to do it: aiding and abetting. You have the gang qualifier, like in the state of Georgia, where they can charge you under the gang statute. And all of a sudden, you're guilty by affiliation. Why is it that when the clique, the crew, or the gang happens to wear police blue and work for the government, why is it that they somehow receive immunity from that statute? Because there's nothing in the statute that expressly dismisses them from being charged as a gang. Nothing. It's just in the culture. We don't do that. All right. Sharon, at least the wheels of justice are turning somewhat in the right direction for this family. The mother seems to be pleased that the jury did the right thing by this particular charge. But once again, first federal conviction, there's more to go.
Yeah, federal. And that's right. The key. This mother had to bring down her expectations and now meet those minimal. It is. This is outrageous. Yeah. Okay, let's remember when we see Breonna Taylor in that picture that's heartbreaking, we know she's accomplished. We also know that she was even greater than that, or else those powers that be would have put out pictures of her that were unflattering, okay?
Right.
They just don't exist. But I want to mention something else here as he gets a little slap. That's what I'm going to call it, because in Tennessee, they have something called jokers. law in some places in the South. You kill a police dog, you get 8 to 30 years.
Right.
Okay. This is, I am happy that something's being done here, but not nearly enough. She should be here.
That's right. That's right. And once again, like the mother said, it did take way too long for her to get just an element of justice for her baby.